Hey, what's up, everybody? Josh here. Welcome to the R-Rated Show, and I'm coming to you today to talk about Episode 6 of The Mandalorian, The Prisoner. Now, I know this is a little unusual for what I do. I usually have a very formatted way of talking about reviews or doing reviews and talking about stuff together with you. And I'm just in a hurry because it's the holidays. I got family coming into town, so I don't have a lot of time. And I already had this setup going. I figured I'd just knock out some stuff really quick. So yes, essentially, Mandalorian Episode 6 of Prisoner was really good. I enjoyed it. Finally got our Bill Burr episode, but real quick synopsis of the story is Mando gets commissioned by an old buddy of his that obviously they used to adventure together and do, I guess, essentially crimes together. They were outlaws together or something at some point earlier on in Mando's career. And this man has commissioned Mando to come back to do a favor, to do a job, which is break out a prisoner from a Republic ship, which are notoriously hard to break into. And along for the ride are these I guess his normal crew of like mercenaries and bandits and whatnot. So you got a diverse little crew of people. You got a droid, you've got this sort of devilish meat hooks, a muscly Braun character. You've got a Twi'lek, this sort of like sleazy Twi'lek character, a female, that apparently Mando's had some romantic entanglements with earlier on when he was on the crew. And then you got a sort of wisecracking, foul-mouthed sharpshooter played by Bill Burr, which we'll talk about in a minute. But essentially, I thought the episode was really good. Not as much of a filler episode as episode 4, which is my least favorite episode so far. But it was a little bit of a filler episode, but more of an adventure episode. I felt like it was more interesting to see what Mandalorian was doing in this sort of story where, he's basically the man in charge. He's a badass, right? So they assemble the crew together. They need Mando's ship because it's sort of like an unregistered ship and it can't be, basically it's like a car with no tags on it. You know what I mean? Like it can't be tracked to anybody. So they want his ship essentially, and they want Mando's capabilities, his talents. So he's leading the crew. They take him out. They have the droid pilot the ship because they need to do it in a very specific way to sort of subvert the defenses of this ship and dock into it. So they manage to do that. They get in there, and they're confronted by a bunch of droids where Mando right away shows those droids who's boss, kicks their ass, and are all like kind of impressed. But eventually they make their way to the prisoner. Ends up being another Twi'lek, which is the brother of the female Twi'lek on the crew. And so essentially we find out that this prisoner knows Mando and everybody else and whatnot. So I think maybe they didn't reveal that at the beginning because they didn't want Mando to know who it was, because maybe possibly some bad blood there. But long story short, what happens is before they can start to make their getaway, they double cross the Mando and they lock him into this cell. So he's going to get busted by the New Republic, by this Republic, prison guards, troopers, whatever you want to call them. So he's locked away, but you can't best Mando like that, can you? Nope. He figures a way to get out before they're even off the ship with the prisoner. And then not only that, but he also figures out a way to lock them into a cell, and then he leaves with the prisoner. So they're stuck on board to get busted, and essentially he takes the Twi'lek back, and lo and behold, there's a tracking device implanted on him. So basically we make it back to the docking bay with his old friend there waiting for his prisoner to be returned. He says, I know you could do it, and he pays him and whatnot, and you think it's going to be a happy ending, but he's going to throw another twist, a double cross ass again, which eventually leads to showing us that Mando knew this was going to happen. Maybe Mando knew him too well all along and expected this to happen. So you see these Republic X-Wings coming to retrieve the prisoner and to exact retribution on the prison break. It's going to be hell to pay, essentially. And Mando makes his escape while the prisoner and his old friend get blowed up on their ship. So, he gets his money, and him and Baby Yoda win once again. So, I thought it was a really cool episode. It was a lot of fun. It was cool to see Mando doing something out in space and interacting with a variety of different characters. which all of them I mostly liked. And essentially, the only weird thing was I love Bill Burr. He's a great comedian first and probably actor second. And the thing about Bill Burr is he's a very gruff, sort of wisecracking character. He's very sarcastic, and that works really well. I think it's something like Breaking Bad, where he's got to play. He fits right into that environment, because he's sort of playing a version of himself, I guess. But in a Star Wars world, it's a little weird. I think it's maybe because we just know Bill Burr so well. You're like, there's Bill Burr holding Baby Yoda. It's very bizarre. But at the same time, I love Bill Burr, and it's interesting because Bill Burr has always not been non-PC in his comedy, and definitely not feminist in any way. And I wonder if that irks the Kathleen Kennedy agenda at all. She's very forces female, very female oriented, and Bill Burr is definitely he's not like a misogynist or anything like that, but he's anti-feminist sort of in his messages. He talks a lot of shit about women because he says at the end of the day, we're all eating a big shit sandwich, so why are you any better than me? Kind of, that's his stance on things. So it's interesting that Favreau would pick Bill Burr. Now, he picked Bill Burr. This is what Bill Burr says. Essentially, he knew Favreau, I think, through Vince Vaughn. And Favreau knew that Bill Burr always talked shit about Star Wars, and that Star Wars, he always sort of made fun of it in his Monday morning podcast. He's got a regular podcast every week, and he always shits on Star Wars fans because they're such geeks and they take it so seriously. And he was never a Star Wars fan, he says, because he missed the train. He was already in high school interested in other things by the time Star Wars hit, so he never really got it. And Favreau knew that, so I think that's why he thought it would be sort of like this ironic humor to put him in a Star Wars show. So I enjoyed it. I was happy to see Bill Burr. It was an interesting episode. I think it's definitely recommendable. I think the only weak episode so far was still episode 4. We have 5 out of 6 episodes that are really good. They're doing a great job with this show. And I'm excited to see the last 2 episodes. And, of course, more of Baby Yoda. And keep up the good work. That's all I can say. And, as always, guys, stay awesome, stay R-rated. And happy holidays, and please sub if you haven't yet. Trying to make it to 1,000 subs before the end of the year. If each of you guys get out there and you just sub it and check it out, I might be able to make it to my goal before 2020. So check it out. If you like it, awesome. I'm very interactive with my subs on my channel, so would love to have you on board with us. So like I said, as always, guys, stay awesome, stay R-rated. Cheers. Later. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of great content coming for you this year. We've got reviews for movies, comics, and more. And of course, we will always have fan commentaries for the movies you love. Lots of talk about horror and just mainstream pop culture in general. And probably some Star Wars stuff leading up to Rise of Skywalker. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And become a fan of the channel. Let's hear what you want to see. Leave a comment below and just let me know what you think. Alright guys, talk to you later.